face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. It's Friday. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53773. 888-77 Jesse. 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 Amazing. My biblical question for this week. Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you? Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you? A lot of you have been examining yourself concerning this amazing question, and that's good. You'll be surprised what you're going to know, what you're going to find, what you're going to realize, and what you will overcome. It's amazing. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And also, anywhere in this whole wide world, anywhere, whether you're on the round earth or the flat earth, you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us. Hit the like button, ring the bell, subscribe. JLP Talk on Twitter, Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram, rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, cozy.tv/JLP. Oh, amazing. So don't forget about Kik.com. Hey, Kik, how y'all doing over there?
Amazing.
Amazing. That's little Montgomery. Kik.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. KICK. So it's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if you've been smoking pot. Are you doing the silent prayer?
No.
And why aren't you doing that so that you can see what to do at all times?
A man walked into this tea shop and set some customers' hair on fire.
He
said something right before he sprayed, and it was kind of like an evil chuckle.
So I invite folks to put some words to action here. And if we need to find somebody that needs to have their shoe shine, we need to just go right on over and shine their shoes. Here, maybe we need to give them a hug, too. I bought about 1,500 of these, and I gave them to all our Chick-fil-A operators and staff a number of years ago.
Hi, my name's Sophie Tanner, and 2 years ago, I got married to myself.
Here, maybe we need to give them a hug, too.
Marrying yourself is an expression of self-love.
An evil chuckle.
I had about 15 bridesmaids, and we all processed through the Pavilion Gardens, dancing to Kendrick Lamar's I Love Myself.
The Spirit of the Lord don't lie. The Spirit of the Lord don't lie. The Spirit of the Lord don't lie.
My dad gave me away.
I want you to encourage you to practice not being influenced by anyone or anything on the outside. If you don't see it for yourself, then let it go. Amazing. It's so amazing to me now. What a spiritual battle. I can't believe that guy. Well, I can believe it, but for conversation's sake, I can't believe that he went out and bought shoe shines, brush things, and give it to his employees to shine the black shoes.
What the?
That is like, you know you have your father the devil when you do some stupid stuff like that. You gotta be of your father the devil. I told you, anyone that has anger is a narcissistic person. They are out of their mind, emotionally messed up, mentally messed up, and blind and cannot see. What? I just don't know what to do with that. A grown man. I wonder, does he have children? Is he married or have children? And his children see him doing that. His wife, I bet his wife slapped him when he got home. What the? Talking about a beta male. Come on, man. Anyone that has anger is narcissistic. Really. I don't care what you say. You're insane. That's why you have insane thoughts and insane feeling and insane overreactions. And fear. Fear and anger and hatred, it's all the same. And Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. I want my country back, but it's not coming back. It's done. It's done. Talking about a change going to come. I want to show you what pure narcissism look like. And anyone that has anger has it. I don't care who you are, male or female, what color you are. You have anger. You are narcissistic, and I want to show you what pure narcissism look like. All right, this is from Yahoo. A young woman who goes by Kada on TikTok, Tadia on TikTok, was allegedly cut off while speaking during a graduation, and was determined to get the microphone back. So this stupid female was speaking at a graduation, and she wanted to go longer, but they cut her mic off according to the story. And later she went back and grabbed the mic. This is pure narcissism. Watch this from TikTok.
Let go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is Khadijata Diallo, and I'm graduating today. I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is going to be all about me.
Oh, drops the mic. Congratulations!
Wow. See, white folks? Y'all driving black people mad by not dealing with them. They're getting worse and not better. That is pure narcissism. And I noticed that most blacks, not all, but most, they don't respect white people at all nowadays. As a matter of fact, when they see white people, it makes them angry. Ride down the road, they see white people, it makes them angry. What a mess. But if you love the blacks, you would just say, hey, I'm not your problem. Your problem is inside of you. And it started at home with your mama. And if your daddy was around, with your daddy. That is evil. Can you imagine being married to that? Amazing. So that was a black woman snatching the mic because of her pure narcissism. She wanted to be seen. Nobody cares she graduated from a dumb university. No one cares about you getting a stupid piece of paper that costs thousands of dollars, and now you think you're something. I noticed that when the blacks imagine that whites are racist, they automatically become racist toward the whites, which is hateful, evil, not physical, but spiritual evil. They automatically do. It's in their mind, and because they are one with the devil in the imagination and emotions, they think that the whites are thinking what they're thinking. And white people are like, what the? I want to show you this again, this black female called, her name is, what's her name, Sean? Kadia, 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 what a messed up name, on TikTok, was allegedly cut off, this from Yahoo, while speaking during a graduation. And she was so determined to let people know she would graduate like someone cared. She snatched the mic again and then threw it down. See how destructive they are, white people? You give them your nice mic, she throws it on the ground because that's what they do. They don't build, they destroy. Watch this from TikTok.
Let go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is Khadijata Diallo, and I'm graduating today. I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is going to be all about me.
Oh, drops the mic. Congratulations!
She didn't drop the mic, she threw it down. Black people, y'all need to get yourself together. You need to get over this anger. It's ridiculous now. All you're doing is creating hell. No heaven. And it's for, you're really doing it to yourself, because what you think you're doing to others, you're doing it to you. It's only gonna get worse. Another thing that I was discussing with someone yesterday is men playing in women's sports because they think that they're a woman, and the women are upset about it. Personally, if women think that they are equal to men and that they can play in men's sport, I don't understand what the problem is with the men playing in women's sport. Why is there a problem with that if the women are interrupting the men's sport, trying to pretend that they are equal to a man? It's the same. It's just men are getting into women's sport. And the women don't like it. Some okay with it because they want to prove that, they want it to happen so they can prove that a woman is equal to a man. And if a man can do it, she can do it too. It's not true, but they're trying to prove that. And so there's this big deal about these men in dresses getting into women's sports. But there is not a big deal at all about women getting into men's sport. And the only way, when they do allow these women into men's sports, locker rooms and judo and all that, the only way that a woman can compete with a man is a man would consciously or unconsciously allow himself to become weaker to let her so-called win because he doesn't want to hurt her physically. Women are not strong as men. They can't compete with men. But since they are doing it to the men's sport, there's no outcry against it at all that I'm aware of. Why not let the men play in the women's sport? Why aren't you upset about the women in men's sport? And men, remember there were a lot of men's cigar clubs and golf clubs and all kinds where only men got together, and the women were jealous about that. And they didn't stop until they destroyed nearly all of the clubs that was for men only. And now what they have done to the men is now being done to them, and they don't like it. My mama don't like you. She likes everyone. Isn't that amazing? I don't know what they're upset about. Either women are equal to men or they're not. It can't be one-sided. This is from Heart, talking about men and women's sport. Heart Air. The Human Rights Campaign is a far-left activist organization currently led by a woman named Kelly Robertson. What a mess. What a mess. When you think about what's happening in my country, what a mess. Here is Kelly Robertson. She's in front of Congress talking about men playing in women's sport. Watch this from Twitter.
You don't believe that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
Not as a definitive statement.
How many female members of the NBA do you see?
Well, I can say that, there's been this news article about men that think that they could beat Serena Williams in tennis, right? That they think that they could actually score a point on her. And it's just not the case. She is stronger than that.
What's your experience?
That's a lie.
Male, female.
Both Serena and Venus lost to the 203rd ranked male tennis player, which they're phenoms for women. My experience, my husband, he swam at University of Kentucky as well. In terms of accolades and in terms of national ranking, I was a much better swimmer than him. He could kick my butt any day of the week without trying.
Amazing. See how the white people want to do it the right way, but the black woman want to lie and do it the wrong way? Bring the hood, bring the ghetto wherever they go. Serena, William, whoever that is, they ain't no way they can beat a man. She lied. This female is lying. Kelly Robertson. When will you say no to all this mess? White people, when will you say no to the blacks? Just say no. Remember? Nancy Reagan, somebody said, just say no. Really? That's all you have to do is say no to these people. And they'll go sit down because they can't afford to take care of themselves. They don't know how to do that. They can't create businesses and things like that. They don't know how to do that. And so if you just say no to these people, they'll be quiet because they need you to get them a job, to feed them, to house them, to clean up their neighborhood. What they're going to do if you just say no. Yes, they'll call you names, and it's just evil people calling you names, unhappy people. And you own the job, so they can't take it if you don't give it away. But if you're afraid, you'll give it away. You let it go. And it's really time to overcome being controlled by words. Anyone that is controlled by words is weak. You're a psychopath. If you're emotional, if you're controlled by words, rather words of thoughts and words coming from other people, you're a psychopath. You feel good, you feel bad. You crying about this, you crying about that. You feel everybody else's pain. You're a psychopath. You're a dangerous person. You're evil. And remember, Mark Twain said, and I've said for years, that whenever you follow the crowd, you need to take a pause and check it out, yourself out. Because something is wrong when the crowd is going one way. They are wrong. That's why they have a herd mentality, because they are unable to pause and think and do for themselves. And I would think at this point, 5 white people would just say no, especially white men. Say no to these people. You're dealing with evil. These people are lost. They can't see. And that's why they call you names and everything. They're trying to hurt you. Think about that. Human beings trying to hurt other human beings. This thing is getting out of control. Or no, it's already out of control. What did Mark Twain say?
He said, let me see here. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect.
Amen. 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 It's unfortunate there are too few people in our country today that is afraid to stand alone. And this is for males and females. But it's ridiculous that men are like that. Males, they're not men, because if they were men, they wouldn't be afraid to stand alone. Get to know yourself as an individual so you can see what's going on with you, and you're going to understand clearly what's going on outside of you, inside of others. You really, really will. But when you're overreacting, you're afraid, you have anger, you're in your imagination, you don't know yourself. You're not yourself, and you don't know yourself. You are a psychopath. I want you to check out this headline from a Newsweek article. This is from Newsweek. I am a diagnosed psychopath. I feel no guilt, empathy, or remorse. This is from Kanika Batra. Watch this.
I'm a diagnosed sociopath, and I'm going to explain what it's like to have no guilt, empathy, or remorse. Someone please tell me why having empathy is such a good thing. Apparently, it makes you a good person automatically. But I have cognitive empathy. I know exactly what you're going through, and I think that's sufficient. I don't need to take on your burdens. By society standards, I may be an evil person. I don't do things the right way, and I don't necessarily care about a lot of people. What I do care about are those close to me. But everyone else, if they get in my way, I will take them out. And I don't care what society has to say about that. I have seen people crying on the street. It does nothing to me. I feel absolutely nothing. And I'm not sure if you do. I don't know if that's a normal thing. It just doesn't concern me. It's not my problem. I don't have empathy for myself either. I don't have empathy for my future self or my past self. What's happened in the past is gone. It doesn't exist to me. What is coming up in the future also doesn't concern me. And this is why I don't have anxiety. It doesn't mean that I can't think about the future. It just means I don't attach any emotions to it.
What the? What do you think about that, Hassan?
I mean, part of her is kind of based.
Oh, and they call her a psychopath. And when you say part of it, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, I don't know how much I love like her saying she don't really care about anybody, or I mean, some of it sounded a little, I don't know, a little kind of maybe selfish or something, but for the most part, very interesting. It is funny that society thinks that if you don't have feelings and emotions, you're labeled a sociopath, but in all reality, like you're making the point, believing these feelings and emotions is what leads people to become sociopaths.
Yeah, those people who believe in feelings and emotions and thoughts are psychopaths. That's why they hurt themselves and others. Like that stupid black woman, the female that was throwing the mic down because she wanted to tell everyone she would graduate like somebody cared. That's a nutcase psychopath.
Yeah, like people would say, oh, Jeffrey Dahmer, he had no feelings and no empathy. He was a sociopath. When in reality, he even said in an interview, before he died, he said, I believe the thoughts. I believe the emotions. So it's very interesting.
Amazing. Can I see that again?
Yeah.
I'm a diagnosed sociopath, and I'm going to explain what it's like to have no guilt, empathy, or remorse. Someone please tell me why having empathy is such a good thing. Apparently, it makes you a good person automatically. But I have cognitive empathy. I know exactly what you're going through, and I think that's sufficient. I don't need to take on your burdens. By society standards, I may be an evil person. I don't do things the right way, and I don't necessarily care about a lot of people. What I do care about are those close to me. But everyone else, if they get in my way, I will take them out. And I don't care what society has to say about that. I have seen people crying on the street. It does nothing to me. I feel absolutely nothing. And I'm not sure if you do. I don't know if that's a normal thing. It just doesn't concern me. It's not my problem. I don't have empathy for myself either. I don't have empathy for my future self or my past self. What's happened in the past is gone. It doesn't exist to me. What is coming up in the future also doesn't concern me. And this is why I don't have anxiety. It doesn't mean that I can't think about the future. It just means I don't attach any emotions to it.
I don't know. She has some truth, as you just said. She has some truth in there, but it looks like something wrong. What the? I don't know where she's coming from, to be honest. But there is some truth in there because any emotional person is a psychopath. They're a psychopath. And their hearts are wicked. They're living in hell with the devil in their head and emotions. And they're a psychopath. I don't care if they call themselves a Christian or non-Christian. If you are into emotions, if you are thinking that emotions are good, there's something wrong with you. You're 2 hoops and a holler away from becoming Jeffrey Dahmer. 2 hoops and a holler from becoming Jeffrey Dahmer. And the whole world, the whole crowd believe that emotions are good. They think they need them. All human are emotion. That's why it's wrong. What the? Let me take a quick break. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job. or you're on welfare. It can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663.
All my faults, well, they've all been lies. They let me down every single time because the devil's been making homes inside my head. The good, the bad, the glad, the sad. If I could let them all go and give them to God, well, maybe He'd take this anger from my soul, and I'd shine like a light that's too bright to see. And I could lean on God so He could lean on me. Forgiveness, righteous, perfect peace.
That's deep. That's from Pete out of Alaska. Thank you, Pete. That's an amazing song, man.
Amazing.
What the? That's what needs to happen. And you shall be free. The Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake. James Hake is on fire at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. And get ready for a real ride at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Today, the American Anchor Baby Show, and he's going to be riding, flying high. Not on pot, but on an airplane with real energy. At 4 p.m. today, the American Anchor Baby Pacific time. Get ready. You're not going to have to wait in the airport to get on the plane. It won't be late. The pilot will be on time. At 4 p.m. And at 12 noon, every Friday, a brand new episode of the FallenState.tv. I had an interesting discussion with Emily Wilson. And Emily is an internet personality and influencer. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
No, I was diehard liberal my entire life. All cops are bad, Trump's racist, green hair.
What made you change from liberal to conservative?
COVID. I lost my boyfriend, had no job. I was completely alone.
Men and white people are afraid to speak up.
All these people care about is money. They don't care about gay people. They don't care about women's rights.
They want us to be divided.
Any man who dated me while I was liberal, I'm like so sorry.
I gotta put you on the hot seat.
All day, every day for me.
That's amazing. Nice. Very smart. At 4 p.m. today. And remember, you can support the Fallen State by becoming a member on the YouTube channel there. All right? And then Sunday morning, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, at 11 a.m. fellowship, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you're in the LA area, it's for everybody and their mama. Come on down. Doors open at 10:30. The meeting starts at 11. You can watch it live on the internet anywhere around the world by going to rebuildingtheman.com/church. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. What a mess. You can either have an amazing life or a messed up life or psychopath life. It's up to you. I sat before you life and death. Choose life. It's up to you. Let me go to Danny out of Bulgaria. Danny, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good day, Mr. Peterson. I hope you're doing well, sir.
All is well. How are you?
Can't complain. Rather fine. Thank you. Mr. Peterson, I was watching your program, and this week was Father's Day over there, from what I heard. And happy Father's Day to you, because I know you're a father.
Thank you,
and
man.
I would like to share a story. We have a Father's Day here, but it's in August. And when I was younger, my father always brought me to the flower shop to buy flowers for Mother's Day, right? So he basically made me have this habit. And I honestly never got him anything for Father's Day. And when I grew up a little bit, like into teenage years, and I asked him, how come you never wanted anything for Father's Day? And he said that every father has only one desire, and this for the child to grow up, to be safe, and to be a good and productive citizen. But nothing else. But we should always buy presents for Mother's Day and Wife's Day and something like that, because women will always complain, no matter what. You can be the Sultan of Brunei. Women will always complain, so at least one day it will be quiet. And this one day might actually be just the day that you need. And this is what I actually noticed, that it isn't it. It's absolutely like that. So I really wanted to share this with you, because just if you really think about it, my father's advice was very practical. He honestly never wanted anything, because, the guy was providing for himself. It doesn't need me giving him presents or anything.
A very wise father, man. What? That's amazing.
Yeah. Indeed, sir.
Grandpa tell me about the good old days.
Absolutely. Mr. Peterson, if I have but a moment, may I please ask a quick question?
Yes, sir.
I've noticed that some people are arguing if Jesus is God or the Son of God, and, they are viciously arguing about this. Wouldn't it be just simpler if people just don't argue about it, but just follow what the man said? Just follow his advice and instead of just arguing, because I honestly can't see the point of arguing about something, even if he was God, even if he wasn't. You're not following the rules, so it doesn't matter. What do you think about that, sir?
Well, and you're right. You should never argue about God. You should never argue about anything, to be honest, but especially about God. And because when you do, it's just two devils arguing over ideas. The fact that, and the ideas are all from hell. And the fact that they argue about God is a clear indication that they don't know God. And they're just on an ego trip trying to prove to others or to themselves that they're right. You absolutely should just live it and don't argue about it.
Indeed, sir. With that said, I'd like to wish you, your colleagues, and your audience all the best. God be with you, and stay safe, sir.
Same to you, Denny. Thank you very much, man. Thanks for the Father Day wish.
Anytime. Goodbye, sir.
Bye now. Amazing. 888-775-3773. Tony is out of Illinois. Tony, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Tony.
Thank you. I have a question about my thoughts. I listened to your message, and I've forgiven my parents. And this message of I can't do anything and I don't know anything, it just paralyzes me into not taking any action. And my life just isn't getting better. But I believe, and I know it works, because once I forgave my parents, a couple big changes happened, and I stopped doing things without even trying. So now the stuff I'm doing in my life, it doesn't really matter what it is, but there's things that I want to stop, but I can't. And if I try to do it, it doesn't help. And if I don't try to do it, nothing happens. or nothing's going to happen. So I don't know if I'm thinking about it wrong or if I'm thinking about it too much.
What is it that you're trying to do but you can't do it? Or you don't do it?
Let's just say stop doing some bad habits that I want to change. Or take action to change my life. But you say that of myself I know nothing.
But
I can't do nothing because God can do it for me. But if I don't take any action.
How can you change your life? You can't change spiritual things. You can get up and go to work. You can get up and go to the dinner table. You can get up and go visit a friend or family members if you wanted to. That's all you can do. And even with that, it's coming from the help of God. And so what makes you think you can change spiritual things?
Well, I can follow God's word or follow evil. Isn't that my choice?
What does that mean to follow God's word or follow evil? How do you follow his word?
Right, I don't know.
So where are you getting that idea from then, that you can follow God's word?
Well, God's word comes from the Bible. To follow what the Bible says, then I'm following God's word, right?
But you have never been able to do that, and you've been trying, and it doesn't work. Why keep trying when you know you can't?
Right, so then if I just stop trying, then nothing will ever get better.
Is it getting better?
It just goes in a circle.
Is it getting better by you trying?
No.
And so why keep trying then if it's not and will not get better with you trying?
Right, but then if I don't try, it really won't get better.
What won't get better?
My life.
The one thing I promise you, if you just let go, relax, your life will get better, and your life is already getting better, but you're just believing thoughts, which are from the devil, that you've been listening to all your life, and you're believing that it's not getting better, but the evil one is telling you that it's not, and you're believing it. And that's why the evil one is telling you, because it doesn't want to depart from your body. It wants you to believe it instead of have a wait-and-see attitude and just live your life. When the devil tell you, of yourself you do nothing, of yourself you know, your life is not getting better, that's not coming from God, and it's not coming from you. It's coming straight out of hell in the imagination and emotions, and you're believing it. I dare you, I challenge you to stop believing it and let those thoughts pass and see what happens. And in all honesty, truth be told, your life is already super fine. There is no issue with your life at all. It's just that you're calling death life. You think that this false, emotional, mental life is life, and that's not. That's death. And that's what you have to die from. You have once to die, and that's from all your little illusions that you've been living by in the imagination. Then you shall live. But you got to overcome all the illusion that you picked up in a lifetime.
Wow, that's deep.
And that's why in the word, it says, I die daily. So you stay with it and let these illusions die daily, you'll be fine, man. If you could see clearly that it's just an illusion, you could be free right now and forever. Amen.
Right. Yeah, I'm in my 30s, and that's. I just think about my childhood. It's just the way society programmed all these people to think, me to think.
Yeah.
My parents being beta parents.
The moment you popped out of your mama's womb, they start setting you up for death and not for life. by teaching you and giving you all these ideas of who you are and what you should become and where you should go, what school to go to. Compare yourself to others. Try to be successful. You don't want to be like this or that. You've been set up. And you picked up all these identities. Then you become an alcoholic. They tell you to go to the alcoholic program because you're an alcoholic. And then you stand up at the alcoholic program and say, I'm an alcoholic. Now you become an alcoholic because you believe that's who you are. And then they tell you you need an alcoholic partner or whatever they call them, so you can call them up every day when you're about to drink some more alcohol and let them know that you're about to drink. And you don't know you're talking to another alcoholic, a sponsor, whatever they call it. And then you miss a month from drinking, and they come back to the meeting. And they say, my name is so-and-so, and I haven't had a drink for a month. Yeah! Now you're afraid to take a drink because you have identified at being an alcoholic, and you've been told if you take one more drink, you're going to be back an alcoholic again, so you don't take another drink. But you take on something else. You replace it with another false identity. What a setup!
What a mess.
What a mess!
Well, and how do I return to my father if he's a beta?
Just by not resenting him. Just like you a beta, and because you didn't know, you couldn't see. Now you know. Your father doesn't know. He couldn't see. That's why he's a beta. But you can't resent him if you want to completely overcome the fallen state. Because in his beta-ness, he is still represent a son of God. He's just a weak son that's been turned away from the Father, but he still represent God. And how can you say you love God and resent your earthly father? You've never seen God, but you see your earthly father. You can't love God until you love your father. It doesn't mean you got to hang out with him. You can't change him. Just don't resent him. Forgive him, and you'll be forgiven. And you shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, and it's amazing inside of you where the kingdom dwells.
Well, as you say that, I have gone and forgiven him, but I still judge him.
And the next time Satan tempts you to judge him, just see that that's what's going on in the mind and in the emotion, and let it pass and treat him the way you would like to be treated.
Well, it's all in the thoughts.
It's all in the thought and the feelings. It's not real. And don't even let Satan tell you, oh, look, you're judging him again. Because if you believe that, then you're going to judge yourself and you're playing God. It's enough to see the temptation, but don't identify with it. All thoughts, all lies, all the time about anything. That's why you should become the observer. All you want to do is sit at the gate and look for Jesus to come through. Look for the truth. Because when you see the lie, which is of the imagination, you will see the truth. And the truth shall make you free. You are the observer, man, not the creator. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
No.
What the? I need to start asking people that first because why are you not doing it every morning? God said to pray without ceasing. Why aren't you doing that?
Because I don't see results from it when I do it.
Do you see results when you don't do it?
No.
And so how will you be aware if you're not staying and walking in the Spirit of God, walking in the light?
Well, I will say my mind goes crazy when I try to do it.
Right.
Thoughts all the time.
And it's not your mind. That's the devil going crazy because it hates the light.
Yeah, I try to do it sometimes, and I'll sit for 2 minutes, and I can't quiet my mind, so I just stop doing it.
And the fact that you see the mind going crazy when you sit in the light, that's the results. You said you were not getting any results. You could see the thoughts. That's results. You didn't see the thoughts until you started to be still, and you were able to see them. You told me in the beginning of the conversation you were not getting any results.
Well, that's what I thought, but I guess I was wrong because I was thinking.
All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything, and that wasn't you telling you that. That's the devil having a hissy fit when you sit still, and then he tell you it's not working. And you're like, okay, Daddy. Either you're going to walk in the light or you're not. You got to make up your mind. Because I and no human being can change you. Only the spirit of truth, the spirit of love, the spirit of understanding, the spirit of God can change you. And it just brings you back home. There's nothing to change. You're just going to stop serving the darkness of the imagination. The real you are doing fine. You just forgotten about who you really are, and you're taking on false. It's like false identity. It's like the drag queens, the men and women who think that they are male when they are female when they are male, or a male who think he's a female and a female who think that she's a male. She's taking on. She's taking on false identities. And then the world help her or him live in those identities, and they suffer. Because it's not who they are at all. And they tell you, oh, I feel that way. Yes, you do, because feelings are evil. And they come from the imagination. So I would recommend, Tony, make up your mind and stay with the silent prayer every morning, every night. And then during the day, when you get caught up in your head, just bring your mind back to your body. You'll be fine.
All right. That's deep.
It is. It's amazing. And yet, it's simple and it's deep. Simplicity is always deep.
All right, Jesse. Thank you.
All right, man. Go back to the prayer and don't let the devil tell you you're not getting any result. You are getting a result when you can see him. When you're seeing him, when you're seeing thought, you're seeing the devil. You're seeing evil. And that's all you need to do is see. And seeing it would force the devil to leave your body and mind, and you shall be free. And the devil will go make a home in other human beings. But he has to depart from you.
All right, thanks, Jesse.
All right, buddy.
Bye for now.
All right. 888-775-3773. I can't believe this hour is gone. When I come back, we're going to move calls and super chats. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
catastrophic implosion of that Titanic submarine, Titan, killed everyone, maybe during the initial descent, according to the reports. And impeach Sleepy Joe Biden, says Lauren Boebert. Based Lauren Boebert, Republican from Colorado, a female. And light-skinned black rhino Trump hater, is he a never-Trumper? Will Hurd is running for president. Embarrassing. He's a Texas light-skinned mixed-race rhino, I think. And by the way, rest in peace to Bed Bath & Beyond. They were purchased, though, by Overstock.com. Nice. Good news for Based Bed Bath & Beyond. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Friday. Get it off your chest Friday. June 23rd, 2023 AD. Day 2 or 3 or something. 3 of summer up in here in the northern hemisphere. Winter for the people down under. And eat that, flat earthers. Shout out to the flat earthers. Stay tuned for hour 2. Jesse Lee will be right back. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Coming Nonsense Network. CNN reports the Titanic-bound submersible. The debris was found. They did indeed die. We can only surmise. That went missing on Sunday, this past Sunday, with 5 people aboard, suffered a catastrophic implosion, quote unquote, killing everyone inside. So said U.S. Coast Guard Rear Admiral John Mauger, M-A-U-G-E-R. That's what he said on Thursday. A remotely operated vehicle found identifiable pieces of the vessel known as Titan, no longer so Titan, and a debris field about 1,600 feet away, over a quarter mile, nearly 500 meters from the bow of the shipwreck, the Titanic shipwreck. That's what Mauger said. The Titan began its descent Sunday to explore the wreckage of the Titanic, located about 13,000 feet below sea level, nearly 2.5 miles below sea level, 2.5, approaching 4,000 meters. In the North Atlantic Ocean. There does not appear to be a connection between the banging noises in 30-minute intervals that you may have heard about in past days, picked up by sonar buoys earlier this week. I thought that it was a Canadian plane, but I could be mistaken. That's what Mauger said, the Rear Admiral. Even though Bill, the engineer, told me on the Hake report yesterday, he suggested to me it was an SOS, please help pattern in Morse code. The beep, 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 something like that. He may have been mistaken. Admiral John Mauger added that the devices set up during the search did not record any significant broadband sound caused by the catastrophic failure, an indication that the submersible may have imploded during its initial descent, possibly long before we even knew that they were missing. Who knows? Maybe somebody knows. Impeach Sleepy Joe Biden, says Lauren Boebert. The House of Representatives on Thursday, according to Commie Nonsense Network CNN, voted to send the resolution offered by based Republican Representative Lauren Boebert, a female, of Colorado, to committee, effectively pausing a move to bring the motion to the floor that would have forced members to vote on whether to impeach so-called President Sleepy Joe Biden. The rule was passed along party lines. Lauren Boebert's resolution had divided the House Republicans, with many members expressing frustration with the conservative female congressman's push to force a long-shot vote along a politically contentious issue. House Speaker in name only Kevin McCarthy urged his GOP conference to vote against the resolution during a closed-door meeting on Wednesday, arguing that the Republicans should let committee investigations play out, and warning that jumping to impeachment, jumping the gun, could threaten their slim majority. So said multiple sources telling Commie Nonsense Network. They have some rats talking to CNN, apparently, huh? Light-skinned black rhino Trump hater running, quote-unquote. Yet another Republican is joining the 2024 race for the White House, black on the inside White House. Former Texas Representative Will Hurd on Thursday, he quit because of Trump, I think. I could be wrong. Launched a presidential campaign, joining a crowded field to challenge, front-runner, our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. And he was always a Trump hater. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP. Hour 2.
face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-888-77-JESSE. JESSE. My biblical question for this week: why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you? Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you? Amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about anywhere in the world, no matter who you are and what you're doing, it's not what you look like when you're doing what you're doing. It's what you're doing when you look like you're doing what you're doing. What the? You can get involved no matter where at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500 on your iPhone or iPad. If you just don't have time to sit and watch the show right now, you can podcast as well. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and cozy.tv. cozy.tv/JLP. All right? Amazing. Cozy. And hit the like button, ring the bell, subscribe, and do all those things. There is one line open if someone want to jump in there, 888-7753-773. And it is Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
But let's begin here this morning with search crews who are still trying to locate.
He called 911, expecting one agency to respond.
Over just a huge protest as the Dodgers get ready for Pride Night.
They believe the mini sub blew apart as it descended down to the wreck of the Titanic Sunday, killing the 5 men on board instantly.
The emotional support gator, nominated this year for America's favorite pet. A cuddle buddy and a real sweetheart.
Wally is quite different. I think he's part human. We don't know why. He's very special. He's a very special alligator, and he just loves the attention. He loves people.
A few years ago, after Joe lost some people close to him, he says he fell into a deep depression.
Every day of my life, he does something to put joy in, makes me smile.
See you later, alligator.
What the? Wally is not part human, sir. It's just that you're part animal.
Amazing.
You fall into the animal nature thinking that Wally, and Wally just think you his mama. He popped out of the egg and then you were, he think you mama. What the?
What the?
Make it stop. What a mess. Grandpa, the world gone crazy. The Anchor Baby put that together. That's amazing. It's a perfect example of what's happening in the world, and especially in my country. I put my country first. What a mess. 888-7753-773. Charles is a first-time call out of Illinois, Chicago, Chi-Town. Charlie, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You know that alligator is legally allowed to be on the airplane.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a ESA, emotional support animal.
Come on, man. No, that's too big of a risk. That thing may get hungry and eat up some other child sitting there.
Yeah, if it's an emotional support animal, it's legally supposed to be allowed to go on the airplane.
I'm going to go back down to Alabama and get my horse, a couple of my horses, and that my grandfather gave me when I was a kid. And I'm going to name it an emotional support horse. Would they let me take my horse on the plane?
If you have the documents, yeah, technically they're supposed to.
Wow, that would be a nice challenge.
Yeah, it sure would.
If I had a horse, I would give that a challenge.
I was trying to get to you yesterday, but your lines were just not letting me get through. I was wanted to talk a little about whether God is Jesus or not.
All right.
I want to start off that I think somebody mentioned this earlier in your call, says that it doesn't really matter what you believe in, as long as you accept Jesus Christ in your heart and you believe that God raised him from the dead. That's really, really what's more important. There's nowhere in the Bible that says that Jesus is God, except for the very end in Revelations 22:13, where Jesus declared himself God.
What does he say?
It says, Jesus is saying, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end.
And, okay, go ahead. Read the part where he declared himself God.
That's it right there. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. But then there's also another part in the Bible where he says that he's not God, he is the Son.
But read the part where he said that he is God.
I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. That's the part.
But that's not saying that he's God. I thought you said he declared that he was God.
Yeah. So, okay, let me rephrase that. But there's also another part in the Bible where
I know, but read me the first part. You said it was in the end he declared that he was God, but you didn't read that portion to me yet.
Yeah, where it says, I am the Alpha and the Omega.
Yeah, read the part.
First and the last,
read
the beginning
part.
and the end.
Right, but you didn't read the part where he said he was God.
Right. That's what he said, though.
So it's not in there where he declared that he is God?
Yeah, hello?
It's not in there. You didn't read in the end where he declared that he was God?
Well, I guess that's just how I take it.
And why do you take it that way?
Because I think God mentions this before, that he's the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last. I think he says that somewhere in the Bible. But also in Mark, they ask him straightforward too. The high priest is asking him, "Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?" And Jesus says, "I am." So, we're all. I think Jesus, the flesh, was not God, but the Spirit is God. Does that make sense?
I'm still waiting for you to read the part where he declared that he was God.
So in Revelations 22:13, at least that's how I took it. I don't know how do you take it? What do you think he means by that?
But tell me, why did you take that as a declaration that I am God? What made you do that?
Because isn't God the Alpha and the Omega?
Right.
And the first and the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Right.
But what made you declare that Jesus was calling himself God when he said that?
Because I think only God would say that.
And why do you think that?
Because God said that before in I forgot what part in the Bible, but God says that He is the beginning and He is the end.
Are you God?
Huh?
Are you God?
I think my spirit is.
Are you God?
No.
And is God inside of you?
Yes.
And why are you God then? If God was inside of Jesus' body and you call him God, you call Jesus God, why don't you call yourself God?
No, we're one with God.
What?
Well, I think we're one with God. And then like in another example.
And then Jesus said that he was one with the Father and I are one?
Yes.
And so, and you call Jesus God, and you're saying you're one with God?
No, I don't call Jesus God because he says it in the Bible that he's not God.
But you said he declared that he is God.
Yeah, at the end when he was a spirit. So the flesh, Jesus Christ, the flesh is not God.
What?
Yeah, Jesus Christ, the flesh is not God. But the spirit is God.
And so, do you believe the
because
spirit?
we're all him and the Father they're one. Right?
Are you and the Father one?
Huh?
Are you and the Father one?
I don't think not my flesh, but I think my spirit is part of the Father.
Are you and the Father one?
I don't know. I mean, my spirit is one with the Father.
Are you and the Father one?
No, I don't think so. Not in my flesh. No.
So the Father is not in your flesh?
The Father is inside of me.
And as a result of the Father being inside of you, are you and the Father one?
Yes.
And so does that make you God?
No.
Why not? You made Jesus God, and that's what he said, he and the Father one, and you made him God. Why not make yourself God?
No, I'm only saying that because that's what Jesus said in the last part of the Bible, that he is the Alpha and the Omega. That's my understanding. That's how I'm taking it. I honestly don't think it's really important to believe whether Jesus is God or not. I think just the most important thing is just to love God, for sure. Just love God.
And how do you love God?
Yes.
And how do you know you love God?
I think about him all the time. I'm conscious of what I'm doing. I don't want to be deceived, and I know that having God keeping me present is keeping me from being deceived.
Stay close to your phone.
Yes.
And you say you think about him all the time, and what else?
And being in this present. What was your question again? I'm sorry, I forgot.
How do you say you love God?
Because I like being in the presence. I like being aware.
And when you think of him all the time, what are you thinking about?
What am I thinking about? I guess it's not just thinking, it's just being in the present, really. Is that what? Just being in the present, not really a thought.
So you're not thinking about him all the time.
No, I'm in the I want to be in the present. So, like, you know how you say, be in the present,
right?
Don't think about the future. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay, amazing.
Yeah,
Are you the Omega and the Alpha?
No.
You're not? Why not?
Because I'm not. My flesh is not. But I think once my spirit is going to be of God.
And what does it mean to be the Omega and the Alpha?
I think that's a title that God gave to himself.
But you don't know what it means?
The Alpha, yeah, that he's all being now and forever.
And you're not that?
I'm not that. No, not my flesh. No. So I was like thinking, but
how about you? So you're saying you're not the Omega and the Alpha?
No.
And why not?
Because I'm still in my flesh.
You can't be that unless you're outside of your flesh?
Yes.
And where you get that idea from?
No, I mean that's just what's coming to me because I was thinking like, people like to argue whether Jesus is God or he is not. I think we're just when they're arguing about little stuff like that, they're just missing the whole point of why Jesus came to save us. I think there's a verse in the Bible that says it goes. It's in Romans 14. And it goes, so whatever you believe on these things, keep between yourself and God. Blessed is the one who does not condemn himself by what he approves.
Amazing.
And then it says
so
that,
you're not the Omega and the Alpha.
Huh?
You, Charlie, are not the Omega and the Alpha?
I'm not?
I'm asking.
You're asking? No.
Oh, okay.
Not in my flesh, but I think, like you said,
where will you be the Omega and the Alpha?
When my spirit rises with God, when I'm one with God.
And when will you be one with God?
I don't know.
Do you mean like when you die or while you're still living?
Yeah, when I die, I guess.
Oh, how do you know you're going to be one with him then if you are not one with him now?
I don't know, I can only hope.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Thank you, Charlie. I got to run, but I appreciate your call. Amazing call.
Can I give you an example of real quick?
Of what?
About so like when let's say if you cut off your pinky, and then it has its own life now, right? That pinky is not you, but it's part of you.
But Lorraine Bobby is the only one that does that kind of stuff.
Say that again?
Lorraine Bobby is the only one that does that kind of stuff. Cut off your pinky.
Who is that?
You don't know who Lorraine Bobby is?
No.
Bobbit. You ever heard of her?
No, I haven't.
Remember she cut off a man's pinky?
No.
What do you say happened? What do you say happened when you cut off your pinky?
So it's that pinky. It's not you, but it's a part of you. You know what I mean? Or let's say if you cut off your arm, that arm is not yours, but it's a part of yours. And I think that's the same way that Jesus was, right? So like Jesus became flesh. It was a part of God, but Jesus is not God. But like once Jesus rose from the dead and became spirit, he became what the part of the God. I mean, back to the spirit united with God. Does that make any sense?
It's interesting. I want to hear from some more people about it, but it's very interesting, though.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I was thinking. But and here's the thing, like
are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Yes.
Stay with it. All right.
Yeah.
I got to run, Charlie. You have to call for us to go longer, a little longer. You have to call on Thursday with Bible Thumper Thursday.
Yeah, I know. It's just hard to get to you on Thursday. Everybody's so excited to talk about God.
But I appreciate your input today. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, buddy. Call me again, all right?
Will do. Take care.
Okay. 888-775-3773. So Lorraine Bobby, back in 1993, she severed her husband Pinky with a food knife while he was asleep in bed, according to Wikipedia. Except they didn't say Pinky. They said something else. The Pinky, there's something else, was successfully surgically reattached. Lorraine Bobby was an Ecuadorian immigrant and the primary breadwinner. Her husband was a bar bouncer and former U.S. Marine. She claimed he raped her and abused her for 4 years. He was acquitted of rape charge. I had enough information, Hake. Hake ain't gonna never stop me giving information. Super chat. Super.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you?
Walking on water. How are you?
All is well. You like a newspaper company. You would never stop giving me information as long as I sit here and read it.
I never knew all that information about them. I'd only heard about it when I was in what grade was I in? I was like in 4th grade or something. Anyway.
Nick, I need you here for a minute. Super chat. Let's do the super chat while Nick coming in.
Okay. On Streamlabs, a Chinese virus 19 says, I don't know if I read this one. Jason follows Satan's order. Satan over woman, woman over man, and no kids. I can't wait for White History Month.
July is White History Month. Our 6th year celebrating, right? White History Month.
Yeah, something like that.
6 or 7.
No, it's not 7.
It was 6 or 6. 6 or 6.
Right.
And July just feel white. Thank you.
That was yesterday's Super Chat. Games for Rec also says, Numbers 23:19. Amazing.
Nice. Thank you.
You familiar with that verse?
No.
God is not a man that he should lie, nor a son of man that he should repent.
Nice.
Something like that.
Thank you.
And over on BitChute, Justin's slave-owning ancestor asks, because you said in church that Jesus did not judge.
Right.
Jesus whipping the Pharisees and flipping the tables wasn't judgment?
No. Thank you.
CC on Streamlabs says, good day. If I am born again and awake, but my spouse is not, and following Catholicism, is it wrong for me to continue to have relations, quote unquote, with my spouse? Wouldn't that make me unclean again? Because his spirit will corrupt my spirit? Can two spirits live together? She asks.
I don't understand that question. I don't understand the question. I don't know how that's even a question.
You understand the question, but you don't understand the basis for the question. The notion that...
oh, is that what you're telling me?
I'm clarifying because you just said you don't understand how that's a question.
Do you understand how it's a question?
Uh-huh.
Well, how? What's she saying? It's a woman?
Yeah.
What's she saying?
She's saying that if her husband's still a Catholic, not a normal, real Christian, that is it wrong for her to keep sleeping with him?
But a normal, real Christian wouldn't have that question.
Wouldn't that make her unclean again?
How's that?
Because his spirit will corrupt her spirit, question mark.
How?
Then she asks, can two spirits live together?
But how will it corrupt her? I just don't know how she think it will.
Right.
The question
that's what you don't understand.
Who don't? Me or her?
You. Her thinking on that.
I don't understand any of that.
But you understand that she's asking, is it wrong for her to continue sleeping with him?
Oh, that's what she's asking?
Yeah.
Why would it be wrong? That's why I understand where that question came from.
Right, because she thinks that his spirit will corrupt her spirit by her sleeping with him.
But her spirit, how's
her
going to
husband.
corrupt? They just having sex. They married.
All right.
Right?
Right. I think that maybe she should call or...
Yeah, call me. I really don't
Or call for
understand.
counseling if it's too personal.
Right. If it's too personal, you call for counseling at rebuildingtheman.com or rebuildingtheman.com or 800-411-2663. Because I really don't understand the question.
Nice. Mike Young on
But
Streamlabs.
thank you, though. Thank you.
Yeah. Mike Young on Streamlabs. Hey, Jesse, I watched the NBA draft last night, and one of the best parts was the first pick, Victor Wembanyama, something like that. Hassan can correct my stuff if he's keeping up with that.
Are you saying that those are his people?
No, but he knows basketball.
But he don't know
He's
no
a basketball.
Victor Yamasama.
He's a basketball American. He keeps up with that stuff.
But he doesn't know Victor Yamasama.
How do you know?
Because I can tell by his shoes.
I know he's really tall, and I think he went to the San Antonio Spurs, which is
Oh.
my favorite team.
Well, no more than I thought.
So that was the first pick. And that the 11th pick was the other best part per Mike Young. Jet Howard had their father beside their side, and of course the rest had mama beside their side. Interesting, Mike Young.
Thank you, Mike. Amazing.
And oh yeah, Weirdo World says Jesse, what is the reason behind a man that want to impregnate you out of wedlock?
What?
What is the reason behind a man that want to impregnate you out of wedlock?
He want to make a baby without the responsibility.
Okay.
He want the baby, not you.
Dree Dan.
Thank you.
Dree Dan on Streamlabs, JCLeePeterson.live. Prostitution is one of the oldest jobs, and slavery is one of the oldest jobs. Well, since blacks are going to get reparations for slavery, I want reparations for dealing with all these women. LOL. Lots of laughs. Love y'all.
Thank you. What the? Amazing.
Star Sion says, ew. Jesse, imagine waking up in the morning next to an alligator. One day he gonna get bigger and hungrier.
Yeah.
Watch out then. LOLOL. Lots of laughs out loud.
That alligator would have had him for supper.
Evil is still real with a couple of...
Did you know that there used to be breakfast, lunch, dinner, and supper?
Supper, I think, before dinner.
Supper and dinner?
I think supper is instead of dinner.
Do they still have supper?
Supper? Only in the Midwest. It's like a farmer thing, I think.
They have supper and dinner?
Supper.
But no dinner? They used to have both.
No, supper was dinner.
It's
Supper
time to have
supper is supplemental to dinner. You take it instead of dinner.
Which one you had, Nick? Oh, did you have both?
Almuerzo.
What?
I had almuerzo. No, I don't know. I've never had supper. I don't think.
Have you ever heard of supper?
Yeah, I have. But I've always thought supper and dinner were interchangeable.
Right. I did
That
too.
some people just say supper and some people say dinner.
I see what you mean by it. Okay.
But I didn't know they were different.
Okay.
Evil is still real on Rumble. I used to be a man trapped in a woman's body. It was a dark place filled with evil. Demons ruled by a dark spirit. Then I was born from my mother's womb. Then I grew up, slapped her twice, and forgave her. And then he also says with another super chat, concerning rights of emotional support animals, you only have the right to have them in your rental. No right to have them on an airplane or private business. Law changed years ago. Expert caller for the L.
Amazing. Let me take a quick break. We'll finish when we come back. Your phone calls as well. Back in a moment. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Okay, welcome back. Don't forget, support us at cash.app/bondjlp. Cash.app/bondjlp. And to donate, super chatters, to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to JesseLeePeterson.live, JesseLeePeterson.live, and buymeacoffee.com/JLP talk. Buy me a coffee.com/JLP talk. All right. And I want to do this because of time. So Hake wasn't right about supping dinner. That was fake news, not the hate news. You want to straighten it out?
Sure. Per southernliving.com, Merriam-Webster establishes dinner as the principal meal of the day. Supper, on the other hand, has 3 definitions. Supper can be the evening meal when dinner is taken at midday. In other words, lunch hour today was actually reserved for dinner, whereas supper traditionally speaking, was thought of as a light meal following dinner. So a light meal served late in the evening is supper, and an evening social, especially for raising funds, like a church supper or social supper, whatever.
I know I can remember my grandparents telling us at times, if y'all not back here by supper time, you better make sure you're here at dinner, for dinner. So I knew it was like 2 different meals.
Oh, so yours, of course, you guys had it backwards.
It was like a little meal that you eat while they're preparing the dinner.
Oh, that's not how this one says it. This one says that this one's a light meal after dinner. When dinner was taken at lunchtime.
I've never known dinner to be taken at lunchtime.
Well, that's the real news.
I saw some of your Googles there. Some of your Googles said something about 2 p.m.
2 p.m.?
I might have seen a little something. I might have been looking at your screen.
Amazing.
But anyways.
Crazy.
Or everything. Maybe the wife will have their meal at dinner time, at lunchtime.
My grandma was from Iowa. I feel like she's called it supper. One of my grandmas.
Yeah. And where's your grandma now?
In heaven.
I rest my case.
Nice.
She's in heaven looking up at you.
Dang.
Terrible.
What?
That is Nana.
From Denmark.
What's terrible?
Dinner is usually considered an early meal, eaten between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. This man was correct. He saw between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m., whereas supper considered a late evening meal, usually between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Whoa, that is late evening.
Maybe it's always
That's an ungodly hour.
That's Mexican.
At what time?
Between 7 and 11.
At night?
Uh-huh.
Who up eating at night?
But it's a
Latinos.
That's why you're supposed to have a light meal.
Hispanics.
Maybe a little.
Or
Maybe it's a
Hispanics.
little dessert.
I don't know. I do know it was a small meal while the dinner was being prepared. And
Yeah.
the dinner would be like,
Probably it was
6.
more loosey-goosey than what these
right.
strict Nazis in Southern Living called it.
Amazing. Let me, any more super chats or anything?
Yeah, there's one from Greenwall on D-Live. The intellect misinterprets Jesus's he says Jesus apostrophe profound quotes. The intellect misinterprets Jesus' profound quotes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Indeed.
That's for sure. Thank you.
And there's one from BitShoot. Sorry, I love you, man, but the devil can only tempt. He says tempt. We choose to do the evil. We should judge in righteousness. According to the gospel, John 7:24, Jesus says exactly that to his own apostles. Do not judge based on your own sense of morality, but judge in righteousness. Just by speaking the gospel. Always refer back to the Bible, not your own desired morality.
So that person saying that the devil tempt them and they choose to do wrong?
Yeah.
Who was that?
That was OSM.
So OSM is a he or she?
I don't know, but he loves you, man. So it's probably a man.
So OSM is saying that the devil tempts him or her and he chooses to do wrong.
Yeah.
But why would you choose to do it? If you had a choice, why would you choose wrong? Uh-huh. Just smoke on it, but I thank you for that. Thank you.
And he's saying we should judge. Unlike.
But if you judge, you shall be judged.
No, he's saying you should judge righteously, though.
What is righteous judgment? Anyway, thank you.
Mike Young on Streamlabs. Hey, Jesse, I wonder. No, there's no H. There's no WH. I wonder what is the weight limit for the alligator for a plane? What a mess.
What a mess.
Soul Conscious.
I can't believe they let alligator on an airplane. Ain't that much comfort in the world.
Soul Conscious says, Jesse, I am ashamed of the this sounds like an answer to the biblical question.
The brand new?
Yeah, the brand new one from Monday.
Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in your heart?
Soul Conscious says, I am ashamed of the anger and hatred in me because I judged them. I don't like going unconscious from time to time.
Amazing. Thank you for responding. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday.
And thank you, guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Nick, are you the Alpha and the Omega?
No.
Are you? You said Beta?
Yeah.
Are you Hake?
No.
How about you?
Petty.
Hassan?
I am.
You the Alpha and Omega?
I am.
So you're God?
No.
And how are you the Alpha and Omega?
Because it starts and ends with me. Like you said, we are our own world.
Amazing. If you have become one, you are the Alpha and Omega. That's what that means. You become one. You and the Father are one.
Amazing.
What do you say that, you little petty Hake?
Can you say I am an Alpha and Omega rather than the? It feels so crazy saying the Alpha and Omega.
And what do you do with feelings?
It's like I'm not the man, I'm a man.
Amazing. So you're afraid to be the Alpha and the Omega?
Yeah.
You're afraid to be one?
That feels not that. That feels so wrong.
And what does a wrong feeling feel like?
That
sacrilegious.
It feels unafraid to be blasphemous. To sound blasphemous.
To be whole?
Something like that, yeah.
So it'll be blaspheme to be whole?
No.
To be one?
Of course not.
Is it blaspheme to be the yesterday and tomorrow? To be divided?
It's wrong to be that.
How are you doing?
I don't know. I suddenly got tired and hot. It's stuffy in here.
And you said no to? You're not the African American? And why not?
Well, I just thought it meant being God or something. I don't know. I didn't really think much. I had a shallow thinking of it.
Oh.
So, yeah. I didn't
This
go-
is Nick, the anchor baby that you're going to be flying with today at 4 p.m. Pacific time. The American anchor baby at 4. Amazing. Why'd you think it
Someone's
meant,
feeling bad for me.
so, why'd you think it was being God?
I don't know. It's just the first thought I had. And I've also heard it before. I've heard it before, that's for sure.
You heard what before?
Being the, I don't know, the Alpha and the Omega. I've heard that in Christian churches before.
You heard that?
Yeah. And so I don't know why I thought that was being God.
Oh, okay.
I thought God may have said that about himself. But then as I said my answer, I thought, didn't Jesus say that about himself?
Yeah.
And isn't he our brother? But
Nice.
yeah, like I said, I had a shallow thinking of it.
I understand. Amazing. I got to get moving here. What are you going to be dealing with today at 4 p.m. on the American Anchor Baby?
You have to buy a ticket.
That's
find
right.
out.
Are you going to be on time so the people don't have to, their flight be late?
Flights are crazy these days. I can't
know.
make that promise. What are you talking about?
What the-
You want an on-time flight? Go back 10 years.
Amazing. A minority. A reparation child. What are you going to be dealing with on the Hake report at 9 a.m. this morning?
Well, I have this X-Files clip that I may get together for the people who've been asking for it.
Oh, nice.
And it's an example of celebrating chain migration. You know, when one person comes over,
Another
he
one.
gets all his sisters and brothers.
Why'd you point at me?
Aunts and
I
uncles,
know.
and even cousins.
I saw Nick folks, his great cousins coming the other day.
Yep. It never
What's
stops.
a great cousin? Don't worry, they're all corrupting Canada, so don't worry about that.
Amazing. Nice. And so at 9 p.m., the Hake report, right after my show.
Yesterday, I showed some car thieves demonstrating how to break into a car and stuff like that.
You did?
Uh-huh.
So you going to help the criminal?
No, and so now I can explain to the people it was indeed a public service announcement, a skit. It's not helping the
thought it
criminals.
was.
Criminals already
Oh.
know how to do that. It's saying, hey, this is what so easily happens. And it's a widespread problem. The chat was telling me, and I looked it up on
Surrender.
Google, on the internet, and the chat was correct as usual. It's a huge problem down in Atlanta.
Really?
Mhm.
Atlanta used to be so nice before the blacks took over.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to live in Atlanta. Have you heard of John Williams?
I've heard of a John Williams. He used to come to Bond. He died.
No, not that one.
Oh.
He did. This one in New York on the subway.
Oh. I'm not sure if I've heard of him.
Have you, Hassan?
What's his name?
Jordan Williams.
Oh.
Not John, Jordan Williams. My bad.
No, I have not.
You not heard of Jordan Williams?
Mm-mm.
How about you?
I'm not sure.
Have you?
Sounds like a familiar name still.
You not heard of Jordan Williams either?
Another John Doe to me.
Play this soundbite from Yahoo about Jordan Williams' arrest for killing a man who he says attacked him on New York City train last week. Prompted comparison to the case of Daniel Penny. This is from Fox.
So in a scenario, many subway riders fear. You're on a train and a passenger starts acting erratically. What would you do? Well, last week, our next guest says a man started harassing passengers physically and verbally. This was right aboard the J train in Williamsburg.
Now, Jordan Williams is charged with manslaughter. This morning, he's speaking out for the first time on television.
Despite the fact that I lost my job, I'm actually still optimistic about work. I have summer youth employment program to go register for after I'm done with this today. So I'm still looking up, and I'm not really trying to focus on the bad right now. This actually hasn't come out yet, but a few weeks ago, before this incident, there was a woman who actually put a knife right into my eye. So she literally had it inches from me. Yes. So that honestly is what scared me into starting to carry. And
what was going through your mind when this man was near you and your girlfriend?
Honestly, I was afraid because I didn't know what was going to happen because he was closer to her than to me. So I was honestly just trying to get me and her out of there safely. I didn't know what to do. It was all quick, and I regret it every day. I wish it didn't have to go like that, honestly. Like, all I wanted to do was just get me and my girlfriend off the train safely. I wasn't looking to hurt anyone. There was nothing malicious on my part. And when I found out, I literally couldn't believe that he had actually passed away.
Yeah.
So,
how are you dealing with that?
it's not easy because, I mean, knowing that I was able to take a life from someone, especially someone of my own descent, you know what I mean? So it's not something that I'm proud of. I haven't had the best time sleeping or managing with that actual idea. I try not to think too much specifically about that part of it, but yeah, it's not easy when I sit there and I try to think about it.
Especially on the subways I talked to you guys about last week, because it's a confined space.
Right,
it's probably the most dangerous. It's not out on the street, and if there's no police officer down there as opposed to being outside, you know, you're on your own.
Yeah. And so, Jordan, I know that you've gotten support from the community, but have you heard from Reverend Sharpton or Attorney Ben Crump at all?
No, I actually haven't. No.
Interesting.
So y'all didn't hear about that, right?
I did hear about it.
Oh.
I saw a little bit about it on Twitter.
I haven't even heard of it.
How about you, Hassan?
No, but it's funny that I haven't heard about it, and it's funny that they're catering to him, but Daniel Penny is...
I know.
Is this old or is this...
crucified?
It's recent.
It's recent. Wow. And you haven't heard a word about it?
Nope.
Because it's black. Black on black, I believe. At least he was black. I don't know if the other person was black.
Yeah, he said black. He said a person of my own descent.
Oh, yeah. So had it been another kind of human being, he wouldn't have cared that much. If it wasn't black.
Not especially.
I was going to ask, what do you mean by my descent? If it wasn't Chinese, it wouldn't matter. He killed him. But what happened was, he said in another story that he had been on the train before at another time, and some woman attacked him.
Yeah, threatened him with a knife,
and
assaulted him.
She did something else to him before she put the knife to his eye, and as a result of that, he started to carry a knife.
Yep.
And then that's why he had the knife when this black guy attacked him.
Assaulted his girlfriend.
Right. Isn't that amazing?
Yep.
Wow, it was like a stabbing.
So he was defending his girlfriend, and accidentally killed the guy by stabbing him.
Why do you think he ever heard from Al Sharpton or that stupid so-called lawyer, and why the protesters were down on the tracks protesting, why the governor and the DA wasn't calling for arrest and all that? Why do you think, Hassan?
Because there's no money in it. It's, like you said, it's black on black, and it's, there's no race bait.
And this is, if you don't see what's going on now with this fake idea of racism, I don't know what it's going to take. This story is so quiet, most people are not even aware of it.
Yeah. Was that the New York subway?
Yeah.
So the 2 cases in the New York subway where the people have to defend their fellow people, and the man who had the guy in the headlock, he's getting charged, and this guy's getting charged.
But those people protested right away.
Yeah, I know.
Like they care.
Yep, they don't care.
Because Daniel Penny is white.
Yep.
It was a white on black situation, but a black on black situation, the same on a train in the same city, and nothing happened.
It's not love for blacks, it's hatred for whites.
Yeah. It's about money and the hatred of white people. And they know they can make money off that.
And that's hatred for blacks. That's just hatred.
Because they love the blacks, they would be honest and tell them to get over themselves.
Yep.
And it's funny how the news reporters are like...
They're totally catering to him, like you said.
Yeah, well, and even if it's not catering, even if it's like they're being honest in this situation,
right,
but not honest at all for Daniel Penny.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they're saying... You're closed in. You're in a subway. It is a closed,
right.
That is true.
Yep.
But why is that not the truth for Daniel Penny?
Exactly.
So yeah.
Come on, my little black baby. Let us cater to you.
You can tell he's young because he has that hair.
And he said his descent. He didn't want to say my color. his descent. What a mess. So y'all see the hypocrisy in this? They don't love you. It ain't about black and it ain't about whites. It's about perceived power and wealth and wanting to destroy white people. What a mess. This story is so quiet we almost missed it. Last word.
Last word.
Last word.
Don't protect your girlfriend.
Last word.
It's not bad advice.
My last word. Where is Grandma now?
In heaven. Look.
Appreciate my experience. Amazing. Let me go to a first-time caller, Jared, out of Texas. Jared, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hey, Jared. No, Jared. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Michael, a first-time caller out of Texas. Michael, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Michael? My mama don't like you. No, Michael. What the? Hey, Michael, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Mr. Peterson. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're on the air.
Amazing.
You hit the camera.
Awesome.
Oh. Hey, Michael.
How you doing? So I found your channel a couple months ago through the YouTube Shorts, which, I mean, was really cool because now I'm able to call in. I didn't even know you had a live show. And I see this trend every single time I've caught the show of these low-energy, defeated, lost men calling in, begging for advice, which in all likelihood, just by the sound and tone of their voice, they're not equipped or don't have the integrity or willpower to even apply what you're saying. So I see this trend, not just yourself, but, archetypes of men like Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, Andrew Tate, Joe Rogan. These men are drawn to these figureheads. I guess my question is, why do you think that is? The state of men currently as men are right now, why do you think that is? Is it by design or
it's because you guys haven't overcome your mothers. You identify with your mother and you have not returned to your father. But if you should do that, Michael, you will overcome that fallen state. But you must be born again. No. You must be born again, Michael. You must be born again in order for you to overcome your weakness like that. And then that's why God said, all who are born of the mother must be born again of the father. Then you will overcome that fallen state, Michael, and God will guide you. Just as everybody else, they're looking, they don't know exactly what's wrong. They know something's wrong, but they don't know exactly what. But forgive your mother, Michael, and return to your father. You'll be fine. Sir. Thank you, man. I got to take a break. Another hour to go. 888-7753-773. The hate news, not the fake news. And I'll be back in a moment. Thank you, Michael. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
That hyped up new counteroffensive in Ukraine just started, just in the early stages, but not going too well so far. But give him a chance. Give him a chance, coach. And 3M's adhesive forever chemicals got in the water. Does that mean you'll stay hydrated? I wish. Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg. Getting ready for a cage fight. Be careful, Elon Musk. Mark Zuckerberg's actually in really good shape. And he knows how to jiu-jitsu stuff. And you only have to be artificially intelligent to hold a woman's job 80% of the time. So says the news. This is the end of hour 2 of the JLP Peterson Show already. It is Express Yourself Friday, June 23rd, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour 3. Last hour of JLP is coming right up. To your calls and more stories, there is one line open. You can call in and get on air. 1-888-775-3773. That is 888-77-JESSE, Jesse. No I in Jesse. But first, Hake news, not fake news. And by the way, after the JLP Peterson Show, the Hake Report. And after the Hake Report, the Fallen State at noon Pacific time today. But don't forget the American Anchor Baby, live at 4 p.m. Pacific time. That's 7 Eastern, 6 Central. American Anchor Baby. And, of course, Church with JLP Peterson Fellowship on Sunday. Join us here in SoCal, or join us on the internet, or podcast Church with JLP Peterson after the fact. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. And it's thefallenstate.tv. And it's American Anchor Baby on YouTube and BitChute. Rest in peace, Bed Bath & Beyond. Despite filing for bankruptcy a few months ago, Bed Bath & Beyond will live on, sort of, says CNN, Commie Nonsense Network. The retailer's name, intellectual property, and digital assets were purchased by Overstock.com for $21.5 million. Doesn't sound like that much. Wow. According to court documents. The physical stores, however, are still closing. Ukraine propaganda, Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports, Ukraine's counteroffensive is having less success in its early phases, while Russia's forces are showing more competence than Western assessments expected, to Western officials and a senior U.S. military officer told Commie Nonsense. In blunt terms, one official said the counteroffensive is not meeting expectations on any front, unquote. According to assessments, Russian lines of defense have been proving well fortified, making it difficult for Ukrainian forces to breach them. In addition, Russia has had success bogging down Ukrainian armor with missile attacks and mines, and has been deploying air power more effectively. The officials caution the counteroffensive is still in its early stages, and the U.S. and its allies remain optimistic Ukraine forces will be able to make territorial gains over time. The Ukrainian military, meanwhile, claimed today have had success in 2 areas on the southern front, while also holding back a Russian advance on the east. Whatever. 3M's Forever Chemicals. They've reached an agreement to settle lawsuits that claimed toxic forever chemicals. 3M contaminated water supplies in the United States. So watch out for that tap water. I guess I'm the one who needs to heed that warning. The company makes Post-it notes, Scotch tape, N95 masks, and many other industrial products. They said they'd pay up to $10.3 billion over 13 years to fund public water suppliers in the United States that have detected these chemicals in the drinking water. Polyfluoroalkyl and perfluoroalkyl substances, PFAS, known as forever chemicals, have been found in hundreds of household items, including makeup, carpeting. It's used to make coatings that repel water, grease, and oil. Their settlement comes just weeks after 3 other companies, Chemours, DuPont, and Corteva, announced they would pay more than $1 billion to settle similar lawsuits. Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg. They get ready for a cage fight. CNN says it's billionaires behaving badly. So girly. Vegas Octagon, Elon Musk tweeted. He tweeted, I have this great move called the Walrus, where I just lie on top of my opponent and do nothing. Nice. We'll see. 80%, says CNN. That's the estimated share of women's jobs that could be disrupted by AI, artificial intelligence, according to a new study. Isn't that nice? Come back home, ladies. Come back home. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Good morning again, and welcome to the third hour of the show. You can get involved. There's one line open by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. My biblical question for this week. The biblical question. Why are you ashamed of anger and hatred in you? Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you? A lot of people thinking about that now. That's cool. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, working out, making breakfast, lunch, and dinner, running across the border, robbing and raping and killing, whatever you might be doing, running from the police, you can still listen to the show while you're busy on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk, on Twitter, rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, cozy.tv/JLP Talk, and kick.com. We are now on Kick. Good morning, Kick. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell. It's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached. Because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
But let's begin here this morning with search crews who are still trying to locate.
He called 911, expecting one agency to
It's over just a huge protest as the Dodgers get ready for Pride Night.
They believe the mini sub blew apart as it descended down to the wreck of the Titanic Sunday, killing the 5 men on board instantly.
The emotional support gator, nominated this year for America's favorite pet. A cuddle buddy and a real sweetheart.
Wally is quite different. I think he's part human. We don't know why. He's very special. He's a very special alligator, and he just loves the attention. He loves people.
A few years ago, after Joe lost some people close to him, he says he fell into a deep depression.
Every day of my life, he does something to put joy in, makes me smile.
See you later, alligator.
Make it stop. I can't believe that men. I can see a woman thinking that, but a man think that some alligator is his saving grace. What happened? Who let the dogs out? Wally is not part human. He's not human, period, mister. You have just fallen into a animal nature and mindset. And that's why human beings act like animals. They treat each other like animals because they have fallen into an animal-like nature. You know, earlier we played you story about Jordan Williams, a black man who is saying that he was attacked on the subway in New York. And as a result, he ended up defending himself. The person died, another black person, sound like. And he has not heard from Al Sharpton. Ain't no protest for him or anything. But when the white man did it, and the same, it's on a train in New York, protecting themselves from whatever, it's a big deal. And when white people do it to the blacks, it's like it's so important. But when the blacks do it to the whites or blacks on black crime, no big deal. What are you talking about? ABC is reported, and I want to show you an example of white males of being the most hated white people on earth. White males are the most hated group around. But the people that hate them don't know that if you destroy white people, it's over for you because you're not capable of rebuilding or keeping it going or doing anything. You hate the white, what you call white supremacy, and yet you need the white supremacy because you feel that white people are superior to you, especially black people. They totally feel that the whites are superior to them. ABC is reporting that police are looking for 5 people who attacked a teen on a basketball court. Watch this from ABC.
Punching, kicking, and beating on this kid when he's laying on the ground defenseless.
The video is hard to watch. A 15-year-old boy attacked by 6 people. Police say it happened at 9:15 Monday night in the 100 block of Glen Arbor Road in Havertown. The victim had gone there to play basketball, not expecting to get jumped.
He apparently ran to the neighbor's house and was banging on the neighbor's door, calling, asking for help.
That neighbor called 911. Unlike any of the teen spectators, you can see them in the video, all apparently recording.
It's kind of disturbing that these other individuals are standing around just filming, this poor kid on the ground.
One of those recordings ended up being the key piece of evidence.
One of the kids filming it apparently put it up on social media, and we were able to get that video off of social media.
All of the suspects believed to be between 14 and 17 years old. Police have arrested one of them.
They're facing at least aggravated assault, robbery, and other related offenses.
That teen suspect was in possession of the victim's shoes, a pair of Yeezy slides that police say the attackers may have been after. Those shoes can cost up to around $300. In that video, the victim screams to the attackers to just take the shoes, but they continue to chase and punch him. One neighbor who didn't want to go on camera says juveniles have been causing problems in the area for a while.
We have increased patrols in the park.
Officers advise parents to know where their children are as they continue to look for these teen attackers.
We're looking for 5 other individuals. We were able to identify 2 so far, and we're confident we'll identify the other 4.
So I don't know if you noticed, not once did they say black teams attacking a white team. Not once did they say blacks. They said 5 people who attacked a team. It was 5 black people attacking 1 white team. Just imagine had it been the other way around, 5 white guys attacking 1 black guy. And some black women's girls look like standing around recording it. Would they be calling it white supremacy to attack a black guy? This is racism. This is slavery. We want, and then that stupid lawyer comment, we want money. Injustice. They calling these black people 5 black people instead of, not black, but 5 people instead of black. Not one said they were black, attacking a white boy. Just like with Jordan Williams, he was black, and it was black on black. You haven't heard a word about it. Now do you see that you're being played? They would have said white supremacy, white racism, slavery, this is Jim Crow. And you see those blacks attacking him. Was it like an animal-like nature? That's what animals do, roam the earth and attack other animals. That's why the alligator man feel like the alligator is part human, because he's fallen to animal nature. Isn't that amazing? Have y'all heard about that story? 5 blacks attacked one teen who was just going to play ball, and they trying to take his shoes, they say. That's affirmative action. That's reparation. That's black excellence. And these women are complaining that men are playing in women's sports, but not one word about women playing in men's sports. It's the same thing. And then they're doing all they can to make men look weak and give a false impression that women are strong. It's another lie. And any man that thinks women are strong is a weak man. Women are not strong men, it's just that you are weak. And white people, the blacks, are not strong, it's just that you are weak. You can turn on the TV anytime now and see how they're degrading men and making them look weak and beta male and nobody's saying anything about it. But when it comes to men playing in women's sport, all of a sudden it's a big deal. A quick example, then I'll take some calls and super chat, of when you see males on TV. They are weak, beta males. Watch this compilation.
I seen one suspect, he came running through the backyard, and I was like, who the hell is that? You know, and then 2 more came running out, and I ran back there, and they were going over the fence.
He called 911, expecting one agency to respond. He saw 3.
They had LAPD, they had Anaheim PD, I guess, and they had the Sheriff's Department.
Anaheim arrested and booked 3 suspects.
As we investigate the case, or any crime really, including residential burglaries, we'll look at, is it part of an ongoing trend? Are the suspects involved in other crimes outside of Anaheim?
We'll come back to it. Okay.
I'm a diagnosed sociopath, and I'm going to explain what it's like to have no guilt, empathy, or remorse.
Wrong clip.
Someone please tell me why
I got to come back to it,
empathy
for they're not ready for that. Let me go to Brian out of North Carolina. Brian, welcome to the show. You guys need to get this stuff ready. What the? Brian.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
All is well. You're on the air.
Right on. Thank you. I appreciate you taking my call.
Yes, sir.
It's been a great show so far. I appreciate you putting the show on for us, too.
Amazing.
I wanted to talk about how I've been keeping from judging myself through the love of my father.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I first forgave my parents, I actually forgave my father first. And it was no different than my mom. I was shaking my boots, all types of stuff. But I noticed that when I went to forgive my mother, it was like almost immediately there was a handful of things that I had been judging myself about, and they like immediately fell away. They were just gone.
Yeah.
And I could see those clearly. I just saw them disappear. And, you know, it's been some time since then, and there's been some other things that have fallen off that I was judging myself about. But just this morning, something happened. I was driving, and a thought came across, and I saw it trying to make me judge myself. And then I saw my father, and I realized that, you know, me and my father we are one. We literally are the same spirit. And I can reflect in all the times that I used to judge myself in the past that it was mainly my mother, you know, seeing the spirit of my father and then kind of trying to rebuke that out of me by putting her image on me.
Yeah.
And me and my father, you know, we don't talk like a whole lot, but for some reason it's just not even, it's not even like that. It's as if we live together, you know, and it's really helped me keep from judging myself, because if I judge myself, then that means I would be judging my father, and I love my father.
Right on. Amazing.
And yeah, so I wanted to share that. And
that's amazing, Brian. And you're absolutely right. And that's why I've been encouraging, as you're trying to do now, or doing now, is that you got to return to the Father. What is missing is the love of the Father, the yearning, the spirit of the Father. You got to return to Him, and then you shall be free.
You're absolutely right, Jesse, and I appreciate it. I wanted to say one more thing. You were talking about the Alpha and the Omega. You asked some guys if they were the Alpha and the Omega.
Oh, yeah.
My grandfather's name was Omega. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. That's right.
I can't imagine him. I'm telling you, man, I think about that all the time. I was like, man, what a name to have.
I know.
And you know what? He carried himself in that manner.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't tolerate any of the mess.
Grandpa tell me about the good old days.
Right on.
Amazing.
But I appreciate you, Jesse.
All right, you too, buddy. Thank you. And amazing story. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Aaron is a first-time caller out of Kentucky. Aaron, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
All right. Good morning, Jesse. How are you doing?
All is well, sir.
Jesse, I just wanted to get your thoughts on elderly or disabled parents moving in with their children.
Are you in that situation?
Yes, sir. My mother, she recently had an accident and is in the hospital. She had an apartment fire, and she got evicted from her apartment, and she's going to be getting out of the hospital soon. And I'm kind of in a predicament.
And your predicament is what?
Letting her move in with me.
Why are you doing it?
I just want to help her out, to be honest. She doesn't have anywhere else to go.
Do you want her to move in, or are you doing it out of emotions?
Mainly emotions.
And are you the only child?
No, sir. I have 3 other sisters.
So why would you let her go live with one of the sisters?
That's a good question.
And what's the answer?
I might try that.
Well, why not? Why you're not already doing that?
Well, I've reached out to one sister, and they're just not much help. They don't have any relationship with my mother at all.
They don't want her.
Right.
And you don't want her.
I want to help, but it's just tough.
You don't want her to play like that.
Right.
And your other 2 sisters don't want her either?
Correct.
So why don't you put her in an old folks home? It's not your fault that she messed up her life like that.
Right. Yeah, that's possibly an option as well.
But why not take that option?
Shoot, I think I will, Jesse.
No, that's a question.
What was the question?
Why not take that option? Because if you bring her to your place and you don't really want her there, she's going to destroy you and everybody in your house.
Yeah, you're right.
You have a family? You married and stuff?
No, sir. I'm single.
Well, you really can't take care of your mama. You ain't got time for that.
Right. You're right.
Where's her husband?
She don't have one.
Well, how did she have you guys?
She's been divorced. She's had husbands before.
She had more than one?
Yes.
What the?
Yeah.
And so it's up to you, Aaron. It totally should be your decision, not mine. But if you don't want her there are plenty of homes around for people that need that kind of assistance now. And you can go by every blue moon and visit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to look into that.
When you see a blue moon, that's when you go visit.
All right, I appreciate it.
Believe me, the hospital have a list of homes or those places where they can take her. And the government would pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to go talk with the social worker today at the hospital.
Yeah, and that way she'll have 24-hour care. You're not a married man, so you won't have to be concerned about it. And if you were married, she wouldn't destroy you and your wife's relationship. And, and she will be taken care of with shelter, food, and everything else.
Right.
Because you will regret it if you let her come.
Yeah, man. You're right.
So at what point will you go with what you see is right rather than going with what you feel?
Yes, sir.
No, that was a question.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was the question again?
At what point will you go by with what you see is right rather than what you feel?
Yeah, that's a good question. Shoot. I don't know, man.
Are you dating?
Not at the moment. No, sir.
Have you dated before?
Yeah.
If you don't overcome your mama, these women going to walk all over you because every woman you get will be mama, the spirit of mama, and you become the boy and you're never going to be happy.
Right.
Have you heard me say overcome your mama?
Yes, sir.
Why have you done that?
Good question, man. I went and I had to talk with her. You know, I forgave her for resenting her, and and then this accident took place.
But it didn't have anything to do with you, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Where's your daddy?
Let's see. I met him for the first time a couple years ago, and I've been in contact with him ever since, trying to build a relationship. And they've been separated since before I was even born.
And how's that going with your father?
It's going well.
There's some noise when you talk on your phone.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah. And how's it going with your father?
It's going well. He lives in another state, but I'm looking to plan a visit here pretty soon. Coming up here on July 4th.
Nice. And you don't have to try to build a relationship with him. Just don't resent him. And when you don't resent him, you got that emptiness you had, that void, it will be fulfilled. And if you're around him, it'll be fine. And if you're not, it'll be fine. It'll just happen naturally. You just don't resent him so you can return to God through the Father, through the earthly Father.
All right. I appreciate that, Jesse.
And so when you told your mother you forgive her, what did she say?
There was a silence, but she knew what I was talking about. She understood it. And there was just a pause, and nothing was really said after that. And I repeated myself. And that was about it, to be honest. There wasn't really much said, but it was she acknowledged it. She understood what I was talking about.
Nice. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
I'm getting back into it, man. I just started back on it yesterday.
And so are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
No, sir.
And why not?
No reason. Just I need to get back on it.
But how would God help you if you don't stay present with him? Because if you don't do the silent prayer, you're going to forget to be present. And that's the greatest sin you can commit, is to forget.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So if you want to be free, you got to stay with it. And I would recommend, again, Aaron, do what you want to do, but I would be honest with Mama. Mama, I'm not going to, you can't come stay with me. You're a little social worker and send you to an old folks home or something. I won't be able to take care of you. You need someone around that can help you 24 hours a day. And so don't be scared to speak up about that if you need to.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate your help, Jesse.
All right. I wish you well, man.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Let me know how it goes.
I will.
Because you're going to regret it if you let her stay with you. And you already feel the pain of regret, even at the idea she's coming there.
Right.
And you see your sisters don't like her.
That's true.
But just don't resent her, but you're not obligated to bring her to your place like that. She'll destroy you.
Right.
You too?
Okay, Jesse.
All right, I wish you well, man.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye now. Bye. I wish you well. 888-775-3773. Bobby out of Wisconsin. Let's see here. Bobby, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, my good friend Jesse.
Hey, Bobby.
You doing all right today?
All is well, sir.
Okay. Hello from the great city of Milwaukee and the messed up state of Wisconsin run by Republicans.
Thank you, Bobby.
Yes, I have a question for you today, or several questions today, Jesse.
Yes, sir.
And I'll be brief. I wanted to know what you thought about blacks, men or women, having children with another race. Would you consider them black?
In all honesty, I wouldn't consider them black nor white. Or whatever other race it may be. I'm sorry?
What would you consider them then? I mean, you said that black people are always begging. So if a black person has a child by a white person, an Italian, an Asian, whatever other race, would you consider them black people, and are those a part of the people that you say that beg all the time?
I wouldn't consider them black, nor Chinese or Asian or Mexican or not Asian or Mexican or Chinese, or black. What would you consider them?
They're called biracial, but if you look at it, you talked about last night.
What would you first? Tell me, what would you consider them first?
I would have to consider them black because that's the race that they're chosen to be.
Why would you consider them black if they have two different races?
They're called biracial, but
why would you consider them black if they have two different parents, two different races of parents? Why would you consider them black?
Let me turn it back to you.
Bobby, answer that first, and then you can ask me another question.
Okay, I want to turn that question back to you because
I already answered the question, by the way. But what would you consider them?
Each time that a black person has a child by another race, then the person has to choose a race that they're a part of more than the other. And usually they choose to be in the black race.
But why would you choose black for them?
I wouldn't choose anything for them. That's them. I'm completely black. My mother was black and my father was black. But I'm just concerned that people that are biracial have to choose a race that they're part of.
But don't you have some white blood? Don't you have some white blood in you somewhere?
Do you?
Yes. How about you?
I'm not aware of it.
You're not aware? Ask your mama.
My mama's not here to be asking that question.
Where is she?
She's passed away.
She did. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it, but I wouldn't consider it. Wouldn't matter to me either way, to be honest. Amazing. Let me take a quick break. 888-775-3773. Back in a moment. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step with faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father.
All my faults, well, they've all been lies. They let me down every single time, because the devil's been making homes inside my head. The good, the bad, the glad, the sad, if I could let them all go and give them to God, well, maybe he'd take this anger from my soul, and I'd shine like a light that's too bright to see. And I could lean on God so He could lean on me. Forgiveness, righteous, perfect peace.
Amazing. That's from Pete in Alaska. Pete, that's becoming one of my favorite songs, man. Amazing. Amazing. So listen, the Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour. TheHakeReport.com from 9 to 11 a.m. And then at 12 noon, a brand new episode of the FallenState.tv. Amazing conversation with Emily Wilson. She's an internet personality and influencer. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
No, I was diehard liberal my entire life. All cops are bad, Trump's racist, green hair.
What made you change from liberal to conservative?
COVID. I lost my boyfriend, had no job. I was completely alone.
Men and white people are afraid to speak up.
All these people care about is money. They don't care about gay people. They don't care about women's rights.
They want us to be divided.
Any man who dated me while I was liberal, I'm like so sorry.
I gotta put you on the hot seat.
All day, every day for me.
That's amazing. Amazing. At 12 noon Pacific time, the FallenState.tv. And you can support the Fallen State by becoming a member on the YouTube channel. And then at 4 p.m. today and every Friday, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. That's deep. At 4 p.m., you're going to be flying high, so get ready. It's going to be an amazing ride. And you're going to be high not off pot, but natural energy. The American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. Pacific time today. And Sunday morning, everybody and their mama, as the blacks would say, everybody and their mama. But the whites would say, everybody and their mama. Fellowship Sunday. For everyone, starts at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you're in the LA area, come on down. You can watch it live. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. I don't know what Sunday's going to bring, but we've been having some amazing hoot-nanny without the hooping and without the nanny. Amazing fellowship. Men and women are waking up like 90, going knows. RebuildingTheMan.com/church. And last but not least, I do personalized shout-outs for you. Personalized shout-out. All right? Birthday shout-out, wedding shout-out, anniversary shout-outs, proposal shout-outs, whatever it might be, encouragement. Go to Cameo, CAMEO.com, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, Cameo.com. And yes, I do sign all the books that you guys order. The men and women order books, and I do sign them. I've been asked about that. I will sign them to whomever you want me to. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/store or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. BOND. Bond. Let me go all the way out to the United Kingdom. Heard around the world by everybody and their mama, and talk to Rachel. Rachel, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Rachel.
Hi, and it's England I'm from, not the United Kingdom, because the Scottish and the Welsh don't like the English, so
okay.
I'm not playing their game.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, all it is, it's not a very serious matter, but what it is, I just want to put the record straight to Hake mainly, that in England we have breakfast, still on about this I am, breakfast, lunch, or dinner we call it, tea, which is what you might call dinner, and then we have supper. So they're two different things.
Oh, so supper is the last meal over there, right?
Yeah.
And
it is.
You said dinner is called tea time?
Yeah, well, the posh people in the south of England, they call it breakfast, lunch, and dinner at tea time and supper. But in the Manchester area, a bit more north, we call it breakfast, dinner, tea, and supper.
And what time do you have breakfast, dinner? What time do you have tea?
About 5 p.m.
And then what time is supper?
Just before you go to bed, any time from 9 o'clock till about 11. I mean, I get up in the night and have a little snack. I always have. I don't know why. At work, because I'm a nurse at work, they used to have to feed me about every 45 minutes because he said Rachel gets very grumpy if she's not fed. I'm like, how rude.
And so is supper like a midnight snack?
No, most people usually have supper. I mean, I have snacks, a lot of snacks anyway, but I still have my main meals. But most people have supper before they go to bed, like something light, like some toast or some cereal or a tea cake with a brew, like a cup of tea or something.
Right.
And so, did you say you call supper?
Yeah.
What I would call tea time.
I call supper, it's a little meal you have just before dinner. Let's say dinner is at 7. Well, around 5 or so, there's a little supper. And then at 7, dinner, for example.
You see, I think because usually, I mean, I don't know whether it's ingrained in us all from like school or if we've had kids. So you wouldn't have tea any later than 5 o'clock because the kid. Well, I'd come home, or my daughter would come home from school, and she'd have a snack about 4:45, and then she'd have a tea about 5 or half 5 when her dad comes home, and then or came home. She's 18 now, but and then. Perhaps a little snack in between tea time and supper as well, for everyone I know anyway.
Yeah.
Like a bag of crisps or something.
Let me ask. So, supper is before bed, not after being in bed, right? And so I want to ask, since people have supper so late, are there a lot of fat people over there?
Well, I mean, none of my family or friends are fat, so neither am I. So I don't really know. I know it sounds awful, but I don't I'm not drawn to people who are fat. I don't know why. It's a subconscious bias, as the will call it.
Because I was told that the English people are fatter than the American people, even fatter than the American people.
I mean, to be honest, I don't really notice it. The only thing that when I notice big fat people is when, just say you're in McDonald's or something and they're eating. That really bothers me. That really bothers me and my dad and my brother. Well, we can't do it. It makes us ill. But I don't really notice it because me and my friends and my family, we've always played quite a bit of sport and a bit active. But and you see, the thing is, I don't care what people say. They blame it on the thyroid and all this rubbish. I've had to have my thyroid out, and I've never gone fat.
Amazing. So
it's just an excuse.
Nice. Well, I appreciate your call, Rachel, and I'm sure Hake heard that. And thank you for straightening him out.
Yeah, you need to straighten out. Anyway, it was nice to talk to you, yeah?
All right. You too. Call me again, Rachel.
All right. Lots of love. Bye.
Right. Bye now. Appreciate it. Love you back. Let me go to Jared, a first-time caller out of Texas. Jared, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, man. What's up, Jesse?
All is well. Thank you for calling.
Hey, I just came across your show last week, man, and I'm a big fan. I like the way you think. And I need some advice, bro. So I don't think that I'm a beta, but I know I'm not an alpha. Is there an in-between that?
No, you're either beta or alpha. No in-between.
Okay, let me ask you this. What is a sigma?
What?
What is a sigma?
A crazy person.
A crazy person.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need advice again. I don't want to slip into the beta. So how do I stay, I guess, I don't want to say I'm an alpha because if I walk in the room, I don't want to take over the whole room. I'd rather sit back and just let things go. So I'm not sure what I am, man. I need some advice.
You want to overcome being a beta, and once you overcome that, you naturally become an alpha. And the only way you're going to do it, you got to overcome your mama and return to your father.
Well, I don't have anything against my mom.
Have you forgiven her already?
For what exactly?
For turning you away from your father and playing victim.
Well, I don't think she did that.
What did she do?
I don't think it's her.
Was she perfect?
I think it's me.
Was she perfect?
No, she was not.
What did she do that you wish she had not done or you wish she would stop doing?
Well, I think the divorce, it was her fault.
Yeah.
And they got a divorce. Her and my pops got a divorce around, I was 14, 15. And I think that, made a major turn in everything. I ended up going to jail and getting in trouble and smoking pot.
Yeah.
A whole lot of stuff. And I think because of the divorce, I kind of, strayed off the traditional path, so to speak.
Have you gone and forgiven her? Have you gone and forgiven her for doing that to you?
Well, in my heart, I feel like I have because I don't act a certain way around her when I'm with her. Like now I live with her, so I don't,
How old are you?
29.
Beta.
I know. I'm trying not to stay there.
Why are you living with mama?
Because, man, I can't save. I got a problem with saving. I need to learn how to save.
You got to forgive your mother, man, so you can become yourself again.
You think that's the problem?
100%. You just like your mama. And she has recreated her image, and that's why you can't get going in life. And that's why you can't get away from her, because every time you leave, you always end up back with mama. You end up back with the one you hate.
Right.
You got to forgive her. You got to face her and tell her you're sorry for resenting her for what she's done to you, and God will forgive you. Don't ask her for forgiveness. God will forgive you. You apologize for resenting her.
Right.
And then all that overthinking about alpha and beta and sigma and all that, you will overcome that, because that's the mama spirit. All that thinking is pure mama spirit.
So what exactly do I say to her? Mom?
Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. You left my father. You screwed me up, and I know now you can help yourself because I become just like you.
But Jesse, let me ask you this: does that have to be the problem with me?
Yeah.
that predicament?
100%.
You think so?
Otherwise, you would have an amazing life already.
You're right. What if I'm beating myself up about my current circumstance?
You're acting like a woman. You're judging yourself. You have the thoughts and emotions of your mama.
Exactly. You're right.
And when you overcome that, you would never do that again either. Men don't beat themselves up about circumstances. They overcome them.
Okay. I'm taking heed.
But you got to face your mother, because God said that when we have something against someone, go and forgive them, and I will forgive you. And so even if she start yelling or crying or blaming your daddy or I ought to be forgiving you, whatever she says, that's on her. If she fall out and die, that's on her. You just, Mama dead. What? She dead. And
but I have to forgive her.
If you want to be free, if you want yourself back.
Jesse, you know what that's why I like the way you think, because I didn't even know that until you just uncovered that. I didn't know it was that deep until we just brought it up.
Yeah,
I thought it was me.
No, it's not you at all. I promise you it's not you.
It's not me.
No.
Oh, man.
Everything you have ever done is because of her. She recreated her image. All the anger, all the stuff you've ever done. You have become like your mama. And it's not her per se, but it's the spirit of evil, the spirit of the devil that made a home in her. Your mother has no love.
She does. She does.
She has no love.
I think she does.
Nope. If she had love, she would apologize to you for what she done to you.
What if she's not aware?
She's aware.
Because she's mom.
Yep.
She knows.
That she knows she ran your father off. She knows that she's destroyed you. She knows she imposed a will on you. Everything. She might not admit it, but she knows it.
Wow. I feel like God's speaking through you.
He is.
Wow. This is wow.
And
now I got to contemplate on how to go to her, because she's not a mean person. She's not none of that. She's a Christian lady.
Oh, my God. The worst. She hide behind the word.
But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't know God.
You don't know God.
I know God.
No, you don't.
Jesse, yes, I do.
I promise you don't. And your mama don't know God either, because if you knew God, you would have gone and forgiven your mother for what she done to you. You can't love God and hate your parents.
I don't hate her.
You do. You haven't gone to her. You're afraid of her.
Afraid?
You're afraid of hurting her feelings. She's a good Christian woman. You're making up all kind of excuses to keep from facing the devil. Because inwardly you know she's not going to accept it. And because you resent her, you have fear of her. You got to face the fear about facing her, and the fear will disappear.
I take that. I appreciate those words, man.
And then you shall know God. You know
That's
about
the
him
final
now.
stage.
You heard about him, you know about him, but you don't know him. You have been born again of him.
But let me, Jesse, Satan is not my daddy, though.
He will.
Let me say that.
He's going to be your daddy until you forgive your mama and return to your father.
Well, I need to do that ASAP. I got to do that right now. Do that as soon as we got the phone, I got to go. I don't want that.
And you better, once you forgive her and then forgive your father for not protecting you from her, he didn't know how to deal with her either because that was his mama. He married his mama. And he became the boy.
I respect your wisdom.
And the reason that you can see where I'm coming from, God is drawing you onto him. He is allowing you to see that this is true. And so welcome that truth. Go forgive your mama. Forgive your daddy. He couldn't protect you from it. He loved you. And when he left your mama. He didn't leave you. And don't have any expectations from either one of them. Get out of that house, get your job, get out of the house because she's going to give you a hissy fit once you forgive her.
Amen.
And do the silent prayer. You know about the silent prayer?
No, what is it?
www.silentprayer.video or rebuildingtheman.com/church.
Okay.
Rebuildingtheman.com/church. Go and face your mama, man, and don't say, "Oh, mama, I'm sorry." You don't love her yet, but when you forgive her, then you're going to love her with God's love, not that emotional crap that came from the devil through her.
Woo! Let's get rid of that. I got you, Jess. I appreciate that, man.
Let me know how it goes.
I got you. Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Super chat. Super.
Super chats.
Super
yes,
chat.
sir. On Streamlabs from Justin Childers, the airlines needs to have an option to select that you don't want to sit next to a service animal. Me and my family aren't sitting next to a dog, parrot, or crocodile.
That's right. I don't care what they say. I ain't sitting next to no animal. And they tried to get me to do that once, and I said, nope. Black people don't like dogs. I ain't sitting next to. You think I'm going to ride all the way to New York in a dog?
Crazy.
And they changed it. Thank you.
Over on D Live, there's a D Live diamond. By the way, did you open the treasure chest? Did you say
the treasure chest is now open on D Live?
Nice. Over on D Live, I have books that are amazing. Gave a diamond and says Hake. It's kind of cringy when you cheer into the mic. You know how I go.
Oh, wait.
And that's cringy.
And so what do you say about that?
Thanks for the input. I shall consider it. Thank you.
No, that's wrong.
It's wrong?
Because if you're cringe about it, it's a problem in you, not hate. Hate has nothing to do with that. That's something that's happening inside of you, and it has nothing to do with what's happening on the outside. So I'll be glad if I were you to see the cringe, that I feel it, and then I will overcome it. And then if hate cringe, it's just on him. It has nothing to do with you.
If Hake looks like a
cringer,
like a cringy person,
yeah,
that's my bag.
He doesn't even know about separate lunch and dinner.
That's what Lin Yan Shin says. Interesting. The new Nate H. Is that Nate Higgers? Oops, I shouldn't say that. Says JLP show the best this side of heaven, and he gives emojis, a bunch of emojis. Gorilla, orangutan, basketball, watermelon, chicken leg, drumstick.
Oh, I love chicken.
Justin Childers says...
Thank you.
Yeah, Justin Childers on Streamlabs. The airlines need to have an option to... Oh, yeah, I already read that.
Fly the Anchor Baby airline today. You'll be fine at 4 p.m. The American Anchor Baby.
The new Nate H says, Pete from Alaska is amazing.
Amazing. Thank you, Pete. Thank you. Let me just say to Jackson, a first-time call out of San Diego. Thank you all. Jackson, I didn't have a chance to get to your call and Sam and everything. But Jackson, you are not gay. Stop identifying with that. That's the spirit of the devil that made a home of you that came from anger. Forgive your mama and you'll be fine. God will forgive you of that spirit. But stop identifying with it. Let all identities die spiritually. All right? Well, I'll get to your call next time, Jackson, Sam, and other people who dropped. Kevin out of Georgia. The Hake report is coming up now. Become your own man. Become your own woman. Stay on that straight and narrow. And let all identities fade away. All ideas, all identity. Let them pass. And the real you will appear. Stop identifying with those things. You are not those things. That's the nature of the devil. I'm out of time. Have a good weekend. See you on Sunday. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise.
Check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. Stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand and lose. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if you don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
So you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you get something went wrong, but and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing.